Hi everybody, John from Lucky Hat Outdoors. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Ohuhu wood burning camp stove. Really excited about checking this guy out, so stay tuned. Welcome back. So, a while back, I started looking at it, finding a different type of stove. I've gotten to isobutane. I was looking for something where I wouldn't have to carry a canister of fuel or even a bottle of alcohol. And I found the wood burning stoves. And looking at them, the ones I came across, especially the solo camp stove, just to try out, just to see if I wanted to use it was just a little bit too expensive for me to try. So going through, I actually came across the Ohuhu, and I got this guy off of Amazon for $20. So it comes very simple in a cardboard box with this and some instructions. Now, opening it up, the first thing I noticed was the mesh bag that it comes in. It feels really thick. It's very, very light. And looking at it, it's actually got this very fine mesh on the inside, and the outside is a much coarser mesh. And reading into it, I discovered that the reason why they do this is to keep all the soot and ash that builds up on your stove from breaking off and getting on all the rest of your gear. So I really did like this. So looking at the stove itself, when it's packed down, it measures in at 2 3/4 inches tall and 5 3/8 inches in diameter. And setting it up, real simple. We have the base, the ventilation holes, the top ring, and in this middle section, it's actually a double-walled burner. So you can see the holes in the top. This allows the gas to combust itself. So you get a very efficient, very clean burn. And then you have the fire tray. Now what I thought was really cool is they designed this, if you drop it in there upside down, it actually sits very up high. And it comes with this little bowl that you can sit on here and make it an alcohol stove. I think it's a nice little side feature. I don't see me using that very often. If I'm going to use a alcohol stove, I'm going to get a very small, very lightweight alcohol stove to use. But we're going to drop this in here upright, and it sinks all the way down past the mid piece, just above the vent holes of the base. And then we have the top ring. It's right on top. 3 legs fold out, holds your pot. Now, messing with it here, it feels very sturdy. I like it a lot. The only thing, where these 3 legs attach is held on by very, very small pieces of metal. And I see if there's going to be any issues with this system, it's going to be from these legs breaking. So just keep that in mind if you go with this guy, and take a little extra care when it comes to those legs. So this is it set up. All total, it measures in at 6.5 inches tall when it's set up like this. And packed into its bag, it weighs in at 14 ounces. So I'm going to go into the backyard, set it up, get it burning, boil some water, put it through its paces. So follow me out there. Hey guys, came out in my backyard where I like to try my stuff out. Brought my little pack. So really show you how easy it is to hook this guy up in the field. Got my cook pack, water, the star of the show, and I actually got some food I'm going to heat up. So this guy's super easy to set up. Put your base down. Here's your ring. I'm going to put that on once I get the fire started. So I've already processed out some wood, got some tinder going. So all we got to do now is get it started. All I used to get it started for my kindling was some of the dried bamboo husks you see behind me. Start feeding in some of these bigger sticks. We've been getting intermittent rain past couple days, so a lot of this is damp. None of it's really wet. That seems like it's starting to go pretty hot. Get my cook set out. I'm going to measure out 1.5 cups of water. Get this on there. And playing with it, I find it takes, for 2 cups of water is usually my standard for testing. I found it takes somewhere about 10 minutes, especially coming from colder water. I've had it boiling as little as 6, but I always give myself about 10 minutes to let it get to a boil. So if you can see with that ring, and I showed you that earlier, it's hard to really feed any wood into here while it's going. Any smaller pieces you can kind of fit in there, keep that heat going. But if you have any thicker pieces, like I like to get to once that fire starts going, especially if I'm going to be boiling a lot of water, cooking for 2-3 people, something like that, I'm going to need that fire to sustain longer, I like to get to these bigger pieces. The more coals that are in there, the easier it is going to be for anything to burn. So I might modify it once I get some use out of it. If I mess it up at the $20 price point, I'm not really too concerned if I break it. I'll order another one, or maybe even upgrade to the solo. So while this is going, I ain't gonna make y'all watch a pot of water boil. So I'll come back to y'all when it's ready. And just to show y'all what it looks like. There's the fire burning inside. You can see it really does a good job of holding all that heat, funneling it all straight up through the top. You can see my water's just starting to bubble up. So it's going to be several more minutes before it's ready. Alright, so I can hear my water now. We're at a really good rolling boil. While I was waiting, I only had to add a couple sticks to the fire to keep it going. What I brought today is some Knorr rice side meal. I like these because they're very inexpensive and they pack a lot of calories. So this one here is 2.5 servings. It's 220 calories per serving. That brings it up to 550 calories if you eat the whole thing. So my water's at a good rolling boil, so I'm going to go ahead, take it off. What I like most about these guys is they have a foil lined bag, so it allows it to hold water pretty well. Some may leak, so I do ultimately put it back in the Ziploc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start out, pour my water right into the pouch. Typically these things call for 2 cups of water. But I find not letting it boil on the stove for the 7 minutes and just letting it steep. It's best to use less water. Probably should have got these out sooner. Give that a stir. Back into the Ziploc. Careful not to spill it out. And then this is going to go into my cook pouch. I made this out of a windshield sun visor. Fold it down. And that's going to take about 10 minutes to cook. So while we're waiting for that, I'll just let my fire burn down. And I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Alright guys, it's been about 10 minutes. So let's check on this. I can definitely tell it's not as watery. Oop, that's still warm. It's my first time trying this out. I just made it the other day. pour that into my cup. So this is my first time actually trying one of these things out. Might want to let that cool down a little bit. What's great about these prepared things is all that stuff you get from the store is so loaded with sodium. After sweating all day long hiking, you need to replenish that sodium, so this works out pretty good. It's actually really tasty. It's still a little warm, so I'm going to let it cool down. Well, guys, I've got to say, the stove performed beautifully. Actually boiled my water this time a little bit faster than I was used to. Only took about, on that lower end, about 6 minutes. The coals are still going in here, so I'm going to let it sit. It's still going to be too hot to handle. That being said, it's really great to sit down and cook dinner with. I can eat, I can let it cook down and cool off. But if it's cold out and you're looking to do a hot breakfast and you rely on this to heat up your water, well, either do it before you break down, dump out the coals, let it cool off while you break down everything, because this is not something you can just turn off and it'll be cold in a little bit. It's definitely going to take some time for it to cool down enough for you to pack it back up. So if you're going to be using this as your sole method of cooking, definitely suggest going with cold breakfasts in the morning. I finished my rice. I'm back in the shop packing it all up. My final thoughts on the stove is it works really well. The fire gets to temp to where you can boil water efficiently, really fast, and it puts out a lot of heat. Even when there's no visible flame, the embers and coals burning down in the bottom put out a lot of heat to keep you going. And just starting out, any lightweight, thin kindling. From there, I go to lead size sticks, get those burning. And once I get those burning, I start getting a flame. I go to more pencil and pin thicknesses. Once that's established and I'm getting a coal bed, I go straight to some bigger sticks. And honestly, it only takes a couple of these guys in here to keep that heat going and to burn for quite a while. So, really happy with it. I really enjoy my meal. It works with my Snow Peak 1400 really well. So I definitely see myself using this guy again in the field if I know it's been dry outside. Because if it's been raining and I know those twigs are all going to be damp, I'm not going to be able to find anything wet, especially in the southern humidity. Wood doesn't dry out very fast. So I like that alcohol section that it has, where if I do find that my wood is too damp to get a good efficient burn, I can switch it over to alcohol and use that in a pinch. So for $20, I definitely recommend this guy. So, any comments, any more questions you have, leave them down below. We'll make sure to get back to y'all. See y'all next time.
Hey guys, Jeremy from Lucky Hat Outdoors, and this is my first ever yellow perch. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to our channel and check us out on Facebook and Instagram.